So episode 3 just released, or actually released on Thursday. It is now Saturday recording this. I'm sorry guys, I've been very busy with taking care of things because I'm moving out and the exams are coming up, so it's kind of busy at this point. But nonetheless, we have time to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen and maybe even play some games, especially after the exams are over. We'll play Mario Galaxy again. But episode 3 of JJK. Now this will be like a review. I will not really talk about anything else. I mean, I can go into depth in this episode because there's a few things that the whole community is kind of confused about, or let's say a part of the community, the ones that can't read. And that's also a really big joke in the whole community, that a lot of JJK fans apparently they cannot read. But we're gonna get into that later. So I hope you enjoy this. Like and subscribe for more videos like this, and let's get into the review. I do want to say there is a spoiler warning beforehand because yeah, of course we're gonna talk about the new episode, so there's definitely going to be spoilers there. But basically the entire episode you were listening to Tengen explaining a few things: the rules of all the calling games, Kenjaku's plans, and how to unseal Gojo. That's like basically the main three things that we're talking about. Of course we got some references to the hidden inventory about how stuff went wrong like 12 years ago, how there was not another star plasma vessel even though Yuki said there was, and Tengen is basically now more cursed than human, which is a problem because Kenjaku basically has cursed spirit manipulation. So the entire episode was just people explaining, or basically Tengen explaining to us about the calling games, how it works. Also, side note, Tengen is the narrator. Now, a lot of people, they do not really understand what the rules are, so I can try to simplify it in this video. Let's just see if it works. Now, I narrowed it down to like 5 rules, which would be the most important ones in this case. Number 1 is that after awakening a curse technique, players must declare participation by entering one of the 10 barriers within 19 days or face curse technique removal. If this is death or not, I think they mentioned it, but I kind of forgot about that. I think it is something along the lines of death. 2. Any non-player entering a barrier becomes a player immediately. Number 3. Points are earned by killing other players. 5 points for sorcerers, 1 point for non-sorcerers. Number 4. Players can spend 100 points, so you would have to kill a bunch of people. Propose a new rule which the game master must accept unless it severely impacts the game. So that's kind of what like Yuji and Megumi are trying to do. They're trying to find a way to get Tsumiki out of the game. And the last one, I would say, a player whose score doesn't change for 19 days risks losing their curse technique, or aka death, I would say. So I think if you take those rules into consideration, you would have a pretty good idea about what the calling games will be like. You just know people gonna have to fight. I mean, yeah, sure, you can minimize the damage by not fighting for 18 days and then killing someone. Now, honestly, a lot of people found the episode pretty boring because it was just constantly talking. I know a lot of people, they just want to see some fighting. You know, a lot of people think it is solo leveling, which is fighting every 5 seconds. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to make that joke.
Separate from heatedness. They pray to the gods and their mercy. Celestial shit descended from the stars.
I'm really looking forward to my versus Descendant clan, which is going to be next week's episode, because as you could see at the review for next week, so I'm excited for that one. But I'm gonna be honest here, I really did like the episode. It made everything clear for the calling games, and I hope that not a lot of new information will be necessary. Now, one thing that I also really liked about this episode is they basically explained why Utam went to Africa. Maybe it is another reason. Maybe he also went there to train with Michael, Michiel. I don't know why I said Michael. But he also went to look for more of that black rope, you know, the weapon that Michiel used against Gojo, the one that could nullify his technique. Now there's only one way they can actually unseal Gojo, and it involves a participant in the calling games. Now, honestly, it was pretty funny to see during the whole argument, like, hey, you can unseal Gojo using 2 methods. We either get the inverted spear of heaven, you know, that Toji used to kill Gojo, or we get the black rope. Both are destroyed by Satoru Gojo. Now, Kenjaku's plan basically is to evolve humanity by forcing cursed technique users to fight with each other to maximize cursed energy output. Tengen can now assimilate with anyone. They need to have a lot of cursed energy though, but it doesn't have to be a star plasma vessel anymore. It can also just be a curse user. And I think it was being mentioned in one of the points that if that were to happen and that person would either die or something would happen to him, then that could cause a problem for everyone.
The latest episode of Jujutsu Jujutsu Kaisen just info dumped the entirety of Kenjaku's plan for the culling games onto us, and if it left you incredibly confused, don't worry because I'm going to explain everything you need to know as simply as possible. It all starts with Tengen. You see, Tengen's curse technique is literally just immortality. Tengen will live forever, but will still age, so every 500 years or so, Tengen needs a new vessel, and that's where Riko came in the Gojo flashback arc. However, Toji ended up killing Riko, so she never ended up merging with Tengen, so Tengen evolved to not need a new vessel by merging with the entire world instead, essentially reaching a state of nirvana where they are everywhere and nowhere at the same time. This is where Kenjaku's plan comes in. You see, Kenjaku wants to merge the entirety of Japan with Tengen to create an entirely new type of being, and the culling games is how Kenjaku plans to do that. So Kenjaku set up 10 different barriers all up and down Japan, forming an entire line. These are the colonies that the culling games will take part in. On top of that, Kenjaku set up a giant super barrier set to sweep over the entirety of Japan. The sorcerers fighting and dying inside the barriers during the culling games will generate enough cursed energy to trigger that super giant barrier, and it'll sweep over the entirety of Japan from the westernmost point to the easternmost point. As this giant sweeping barrier crosses the entirety of Japan, it will prep every single Japanese citizen to merge with Tengen. Now, normally, Tengen could just refuse the merging altogether, but because he's evolved into something that's similar to a cursed spirit rather than a human, that makes him a target for Geto's technique, cursed spirit manipulation, which Kenjaku obviously has now because he's in his body. That's why Tengen needs Yuki and Choso as guards, so Kenjaku doesn't show up and steal them. If Kenjaku pulls off the merger and combines the entire population of Japan with Tengen, everybody will become the same being. The barriers between individuals will be broken down and they'll become one collective consciousness of 100 million souls. And that's because Tengen's evolution caused him to become one with everything. So if you merge with Tengen, you're also now one with everything. Now, why is this a massive problem? That's because cursed spirits are created from negative emotions found in humans. And if even one evil person gets merged with Tengen, that will cause every other soul that gets merged with him to become evil as well. Can you imagine how crazy powerful the cursed spirits generated by 100 million evil souls would be? Yeah, they sweep over the entire world and destroy everything. So our main cast basically has 3 objectives: protect Tengen from Kenjaku, free Gojo from the prison realm, and add a new rule to the culling games that allows people that don't want to participate to leave it.
Besides that, yeah, the episode, it was just a whole lot of talking. A whole lot of explaining, and you know what, I didn't mind, to be honest. I kind of liked it, you know, now we have a whole idea what the culling games is about and what we can expect and what's going to be like the main focus. I haven't read the manga, and I'm also not going to read the manga because I just want to keep it on the anime. I don't want to get spoiled, even though I got spoiled a lot already. But hey, next week, Maki versus Zen Clan. I am very excited, and just like today, I will make a video of that too. Honestly, still, this episode, I did really like it, but I can understand that some people, if they want to watch like a battle shonen, then this episode would be the lowest rated. I think this one was rated the lowest with like a 7.7, and you know, a lot of people are complaining like, oh god, JJK fans can't read, or they don't want to read, or something like that. Please just let people do whatever they want. If they want to see more battles, then I would suggest watching a different episode or just going to a different anime. Next episode though is going to be a lot of battling probably. So for all the battle hungry people out there, I'll wait until next Thursday. And that's it for now. This was really experimental. This is like very short notice because I don't really have a lot of time. I didn't really have time to prepare this, and I did really want to make this, so it's a bit all over the place right now. With editing, I'll try to make it correct, but if it's still a little bit confusing, then I am sorry. I will try to do that better the next time. But it's just, like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on, so I hope you still enjoy it though nonetheless. And that's it for me. I'm going to continue studying because I am falling behind slightly. Alright, bye.